Dear scholars, here is our first lesson from the Unit 1. Actually, it is a poem which is titled as Don't Give Up. Here, don't give up means not to lose heart or not to stop trying. This is a motivational, encouraging, and inspirational poem that teaches us how to handle failures and gives us spirit not to give up and keep trying, keep taking efforts until the goal or success is not achieved. There are various sports or games which are learned by practicing only. You can see the examples of them given over here. It is chess, then here is one of the dance forms, for example Bharatnatyam. Here is cycling, here is hurdle race, and here is gymnastic that we call Malkham, right? Do you think all these can be learned very easily in the one attempts only? Of course not, right? All of these need efforts, continuous efforts to get mastery over all these games or sports or these activities. If you think of the example of cycling, is there any person who tried first time in his life learning bicycle and learned in the first attempt only? Definitely no, right? You might have learned or might be learning cycling, so you might have experienced that how you have fallen many times, how you were unable to handle the handle of the bicycle, to use the pedals properly, and also balancing, right? But after practicing for few days, you could be doing much better and better, right? And after again few days, you might have learned that cycling. So if you fall first time and you stop learning bicycle, you will never learn, right? So here, if you leave learning bicycle in between, it means you give up. So here the poet wants to tell us that one should not give up the task taken. If you are learning bicycle, riding bicycle, you may fall, you may get injury, but still go on doing it. Then only you could be able to learn riding bicycle. So if you have this approach, it means you are not going to give up. You might have watched the movie Milkha Singh. You might have watched the movie of that Mary Kom, that movie based on wrestling, that is Dangal. All these are the examples of the people whose biographies are shown in the movies. They all people face many of the problems, but they didn't give up and achieve their success. So there are many success stories which became success stories because of the people who overcame their circumstances, problems. So this is the poem, once again I repeat, that motivates us, encourages us, inspires us to not to give up in our difficult times too. So definitely there would be failures in life, but if we learn from each failure, we are going to achieve the success. So here we go with learning the first two stanzas of this poem. I am going to read the first stanza. If you have tried and have not won, never stop for crying. All is that is great and good is done just by patient trying. If you think of the first stanza, the poet wants to say that whatever work you have taken up and you are doing and doing, trying again and again, but in such a case you have not won. It means you got defeated, you couldn't do that work. Poet says, never stop. For what? For crying. So there are many people, they take up some work, and as they get defeated, as they start facing problem, they stop, and what they do, they start crying. Here crying means that is complaining about difficulties. So there are many people who complain about the difficulties in doing any task. If you think of the example, you might have gone through such experience that students think of proper planning of the studies, and accordingly they start, but sometimes they face the problem of power cut, that is electric power cut, or necessary things, or something else, and in such a cases they stop and just make excuses and stop their studies, and they complain what problem they face and why they stopped learning, or why they change that plan. So poet want to say here, if you are complaining like that, you are not going to achieve anything. So you have to be steady with doing your work, and you should not complain about that difficulties. What is further? All that is great and good is done just by patient trying. Here the word patient means calm, and if you think of the patient trying, that is calm and continuous trying, continuous efforts. So whatever great and good things are done, they are done by the people who are doing their work patiently, who are doing their work continuously without stopping. So here the first stanza simply says that don't give up. If you give up, you are not going to do any great or good thing, right? So for example, if we think of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he too faced many difficulties in his childhood. If he would have given up studying and all that, he wouldn't have become the missile man of India, right? So he kept on patient trying and he achieved. I hope you got the first stanza. Let's go to discuss about the second. Here the poet provides example of young birds. Do you think after the birth only the young birds, that is baby birds, they are able to fly? No, right? After the birth, their eyes are not closed for few days, and their wings are not much strong, so they are not able to they are not able to fly after the birth only. So what the poet say? Let us see. Though young birds in flying fall, still their wings grow stronger, and the next time they can keep up little longer. So poet gives here example of that young bird. If we notice the birds, small birds especially, learning to fly, what happened at the beginning? They try to fly and fall many times. Why it is so? Because at the beginning, whatever wings they have, they are not much stronger. Their wings do not have that much strength to bear up with their weight, and so as they flip the wing, they fly little and they fall down. But after few days we observe that that small bird can fly high easily. So how it becomes possible? It is because they keep on flipping their wings, they keep on flying little distance, and every time they are improving and keeping little longer flight. And in this way, their wings grow stronger, they can bear up the weight, and so the young bird, learn flying high in the sky for long distances. And so the next lines are given here, and the next time they can keep up little longer. So in this way, as their wings become stronger, they learn flying. So what the poet want to say through this? If we are doing any work and we face the problem, we face any difficulty, or we got defeated, what we have to do? We have to think of the flaws, we have to think of the difficulties, and at the same time we must be thinking about the solution. So if we find the solution to those flaws, to those difficulties, definitely we are going to learn something, and definitely we are going not to repeat the same mistake again, and so we can get improvement and we can achieve a little more than before. So if we are improving every time, it means we are upgrowing, we are upgrading, we are updating ourselves, and we are there to overcome that difficulty, and we are there to achieve the success, right? So this is what all about the two stanzas of the poem, where the poet is really giving great message through both the stanzas. Remaining two stanzas we will learn through the next video.